Here is a history of the Old Testament. The Old Testament is one of the most influential collections of texts in human history, serving as the foundation of Judaism and a vital part of Christianity. It is a sacred record of the origins, struggles, laws, and faith of the people of Israel. The Old Testament not only provides historical accounts, but also conveys profound theological truths about God, humanity, and redemption. Understanding its history involves exploring its composition, structure, major themes, and enduring significance. Origins and composition. The Old Testament, also known as the Hebrew Bible, was written over a period of more than 1,000 years, from approximately 1500 to 400 BCE. It was composed in Hebrew, with some portions in Aramaic, and later translated into Greek in the form of the Septuagint, LXX, in the 3rd and 2nd centuries BCE. Traditionally, authorship of the earliest books is attributed to Moses, while later books were written by prophets, priests, and scribes. The texts were transmitted orally before being committed to writing, ensuring their preservation across generations. By the time of the Second Temple period, 515 BCE, 70 CE, the Jewish community had largely recognized the canon of the Hebrew Bible. Structure of the Old Testament. The Old Testament consists of 39 books in Protestant and Jewish traditions, though Catholic and Orthodox traditions include additional books known as the Deuterocanonical books. The Hebrew Bible is divided into 3 sections. 1. Torah, Law or Pentateuch. The first 5 books attributed to Moses, containing laws and foundational narratives. 2nd, Nevi'im, prophets, historical accounts and prophetic messages. 3rd, Ketuvim, writings, wisdom, literature, poetry, and later historical works. The Torah, the foundation of Israel's faith. The Torah, or Pentateuch, comprises Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. These books establish the story of creation, the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the exodus from Egypt, the giving of the law at Mount Sinai, and the journey to the Promised Land. The Torah sets the stage for Israel's relationship with God, defining their covenant and laws. The historical books, the rise and fall of a nation. The books of Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 and 2 Samuel, 1 and 2 Kings, 1 and 2 Chronicles, Ezra, and Nehemiah trace Israel's history from their conquest of Canaan to their exile and return. These books document the establishment of the monarchy, with figures like Saul, David, and Solomon, the division of the kingdom, and the eventual destruction of Israel and Judah by foreign powers. The wisdom literature, poetry, and philosophy. Books like Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon contain poetic and philosophical reflections on life, suffering, wisdom, and love. The Psalms, written mostly by David, became central to Jewish and Christian worship, while Proverbs and Ecclesiastes explore themes of morality and human limitations. The Prophets, warnings and promises. The prophetic books are divided into major prophets: Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, and minor prophets, Hosea to Malachi. These prophets warned Israel of coming judgment for their disobedience, but also offered hope for restoration and the coming of a Messiah. Many Christians see these prophecies as pointing to Jesus Christ, historical context, and influence. The Old Testament reflects the geopolitical realities of the ancient Near East, with Israel's history deeply intertwined with Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, and Persia. Events such as the Exodus, the Babylonian exile, 586 BCE, and the Persian restoration under King Cyrus, 538 BCE, shaped the identity of Israel and their understanding of God's sovereignty. The Old Testament's impact extends far beyond Israel. It influenced Western law, ethics, literature, and philosophy. The moral teachings of the Ten Commandments and the prophetic calls for justice continue to inspire people today. Connection to the New Testament. For Christians, the Old Testament is not just a historical record, but a foreshadowing of Christ. Prophecies like Isaiah 53, the suffering servant, and Daniel 7, the Son of Man, are seen as pointing to Jesus. The Old Testament lays the groundwork for the themes of redemption, sacrifice, and God's kingdom, which are fulfilled in the New Testament. The Old Testament is a testament to faith, history, and divine revelation. It tells the story of a people chosen by God, their struggles and triumphs, and the unfolding plan of redemption. Whether read as sacred scripture, literature, or historical record, its influence on religion, culture, and society is undeniable.